great to be here and see such a full house of people coming to talk about health tech in Jerusalem. First of all, thank you very much, IATI, Karin, Yaakov, Erez, for this amazing event. I will try in the next 10 minutes to give you a snapshot of where we stand today with regards to the overall Israeli high-tech, and of course specifically about health tech, and also maybe a preview to the future of our industries. So first of all, for our guests from abroad who are not familiar with the Israeli Innovation Authority, so who we are the government agency responsible for the high-tech sector in Israel, all sectors, all stages, all stakeholders. This is our thing. Our mission in life is to improve and support and improve and sustain the competitiveness of the Israeli high-tech. It's not a secret that many tech hubs today are competing for the same resources, whether it's venture funds, entrepreneurs, researchers, and so on. Israel is ranked very high, and you'll see a few figures in a moment in this global competition, and our job is to make sure we remain there. How do we fulfill this mission? Well, first of all, investment in startups and tech companies, primarily early stage, primarily deep tech, places where there is not enough private sector investments, hence, for example, a lot of health tech investments. The second way is by investing in emerging technologies that are going to be maturing in the next, let's say, 3 to 5 years. We go ahead and invest on advance in those emerging technologies, in building the right labs and developing the right talent and in the right applied research. For instance, artificial intelligence, quantum computing, and bioconvergence. Last but not least, by removing growth barriers, our aim is to create in Israel the best business environment for tech companies and tech investors in the world, working with other government agencies and ministries about taxation, regulation, long-term human development, human capital development, and so on. Our annual investment budget is around $500 million going directly into the ecosystem. Many people may ask, why does Israel require a special agency for high-tech? Well, Israel's economy is very dependent on the high-tech sector in a quite unique way. This is a comparison of 3 different countries that depend. There is a sector within those economies that is very significant to their success. For Israel, the high-tech sector is already 20% of GDP and more than 50% of export. As a comparison for the States, the superpower of tech in the world, it's only 9% of GDP and 22% of the exports. Many people know that Russia's economy is very dependent on oil and gas. Well, it's only 16% of GDP and 43% of exports, and you can see the rest of the numbers on the slide. Well, the high-tech is what really drives Israeli economy, and again, this is why we have an agency and why we need to sustain our competitiveness. So after almost a year and a half of war, obviously, it's very interesting to see how did we finish 2024. And those are the numbers of private investments into startups, all sectors of the Israeli high-tech. You can see the numbers, and maybe a few things that might amaze you. First of all, in 2024, an increase in investment compared to 23 of almost 20%. Think about that. A year of war, many people are drafted to the army, almost no flights into Israel, but still more investments than the year before. It's less, obviously, than the years of 21 and 22, which were phenomenal years globally and also in Israel, but it comes back to what we used to see before that in 2019 and 2020. Maybe another indicator, in absolute numbers, this is the 3rd hub in the world in terms of fundraising. After the Silicon Valley and the New York metropolitan area, in absolute number, more than $10 billion in investments in startups. Another phenomenal indication or indicator, M&As, $16 billion. This is the ever highest number in M&As of multinational companies acquiring startups in Israel. That's really something which is mind-boggling when you come to think about it. Multinational companies, again, in a year of war, coming here and buying, acquiring companies, and obviously when you do such a thing, you think about the long term and not the short term. Now, compared to that, how did the health tech sector did? So those are the numbers of the health tech sector. You can see a few interesting things here. First of all, the spike of 21 and 22 was not as high as the overall high tech. But when you look upon 2024, first of all, you see a slight increase compared to 23, and you see that also here, the numbers are very similar to what we saw in 2019, so the trend line is pretty much the same as the overall high tech. When it comes to the Israeli Innovation Authority investments in health tech, you can see the numbers here for 2024. Most of the money goes obviously to tech companies, as I said before, primarily early stage, but also part of the money goes to investments in infrastructure, which means labs, applied research, and talent development. The amazing thing is that year after year, despite the fact that we do not decide on advance how much to invest in every sector, all our investments are going bottom up. Every year it comes to around 1/3 of our budget that goes into the health tech sector because we see such an excellent set of companies in this sector. The distribution of those investments between medical devices, pharma, and digital health, you can see the number here. Most of the investments are going to medical devices spaces. By the way, Yaakov, you've mentioned, where is Yaakov? Over here, mentioned a nice exit that was published yesterday. Obviously, a company that got a grant from us in its early stage, and we are very happy to see this company maturing and now a very nice exit. But that was just a snapshot of how we ended the year. The year was very challenging, both in the micro level of each company, how to manage the company, how to raise fund, what do you do when a significant portion of your employees are called for reserve duty, and the rest need to attend to their families. Well, despite all these facts, you saw the numbers, we also felt in the Innovation Authority that we need to do things differently because of these challenging times. And this is why we launched during 24 two strategic tools for us to make our investments. The first one is the new Deep Tech Startups Fund, which comes to create the best globally available grants fund of a government into deep tech sectors. And I'm saying this after doing a global benchmark of how governments invest in deep tech. If you are an entrepreneur that wants to start a deep tech startup, if you are an investor that wants to invest in such a company, you need to know this fund. Basically, we participate in the financing round. In the ideation phase, we give up to 80% of the round. Pre-seed 60%, seed 50%, round A 30%, and the idea is to reduce the risk to potential entrepreneurs and to potential investors to invest in those sectors that we do not see enough private funding. You'll see in a moment the results for the health tech sector. Yozma Fund is another strategic move that we did in 2024. I'm not sure how many of you saw the report that was published yesterday about fundraising by Israeli venture funds in 2024. There was a decline there. And Yozma Fund that we launched comes to solve this issue. The idea is to stimulate or incentivize institutional investors, Israeli institutional investors, to invest in Israeli venture funds up to $1 billion in the next year and a half. So I hope this will deal with the challenge that we saw in 2024. So the results of the Deep Tech Startup Fund with regards to health tech, you can see here the portfolio. Since the fund started making investments exactly in the middle of 2024, and since then invested in 100 companies, the best deep tech companies that the Israeli ecosystem has to offer. 40% of them are coming from the health tech sector. Again, an indication of the excellence of this sector in the high tech. You can see pre-seed, seed, and round A. I call upon investors in the audience to go to our website, take a look at this list of companies and invest in them because they are really, really promising companies. Bioconvergence, this is a topic we talk about in every event. The National Program for Bioconvergence, we believe that bioconvergence poses an amazing opportunity for the Israeli ecosystem. What is bioconvergence? This is the convergence between biology and life sciences and the traditional sectors of high-tech, computer science, electronics, semiconductors, etc., without getting into all the details. A very simple criteria whether a company is a bioconvergence company or not. If you see in the R&D department biology and life science people sitting shoulder to shoulder, working shoulder to shoulder with computer engineers or with other types of engineering, then this is a bioconvergence company. We are making a lot of investments in the infrastructure of bioconvergence, again, national labs, talent development, research, etc. But the most important thing is that this beautiful tree is already bringing fruits in the form of 162 different companies that use biotechnology and bioconvergence technologies to bring upon their products and services to the world with groundbreaking innovation. Not all of them, by the way, in the health tech sector, but many of them are in the health tech sector. In terms of our investments in bioconvergence infrastructure, just in 2024, we invested $58 million, and since 2022, $164 million. Now, a little bit of a preview to the future. Many people ask me, what do you think about how will the Israeli high-tech come out of these challenging times? So first of all, I'm an optimistic by nature, and since I'm almost 30 years in the high-tech sector, we've seen so many challenges and so many downturns, and the only common denominator was that Israeli high-tech was always exiting those downturns stronger than before. So by nature, I believe this will be the case also this time. But it's not only a matter of intuition. This is a very interesting figure that I want to share with you that is not published yet publicly. Well, we have a small fund that is funding entrepreneurs with idea that they want to explore even before they start their company, their startup. We give them like $50,000 to do some initial analysis. It's called the Tnufa Fund. Well, in 2024, we saw an increase of 60% in the number of submissions of such ideas. And by the way, without any decline in quality. So hundreds and hundreds of great ideas of people that want to go and start their company. And when you come to think about it, why did it happen? Well, the war made people go out of their convenient area, comfort area. And they saw new needs, and they met new people that otherwise maybe they would not have met. And this brought them a lot of ideas. And this is why I'm hopeful that after the war we are going to see a baby boom of startups. By the way, if you want another notch of optimism, the number of submissions by potential Israeli Arabs entrepreneurs tripled in 2024, which again may be a sign of optimism. The war, as I said, made people move out of their comfort zone and also developed new needs. One of those needs was how to help people with the huge demand for mental health therapies and for child development, because many people faced challenges and many people had to be evacuated from their homes, and it was obvious from the beginning that there are not enough therapists in Israel to deal with this huge challenge. And therefore, together with the Tkuma Directorate and the Ministry of Health, we held a call for proposal for startups, for tech companies to come up and deal with this challenge of child development and mental health. We were amazed by the amount and quality of things that approached us for this call for proposal. You can see here the list of companies that got the grants, and again, something that obviously we would have preferred to avoid may become a thing that will create here companies in sectors that we did not even imagine. So to sum up my piece, I will quote Albert Einstein: "In the middle of every difficulty lies an opportunity," and this is the case for the Israeli high-tech, and this is the case for Israeli health tech, and I'm sure that it will just make us stronger. Thank you very much.